Right now on Morning News Now, looking for dismissal. President-elect Trump is pushing once again to get his New York hush money case tossed out. We'll tell you about his argument this time concerning President Biden's pardoning of his son Hunter. This comes as Mr. Trump's pick for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth faces more scrutiny, with current and former Fox News employees speaking out about Hegseth's alleged drinking habits. We'll bring you the details. In the spotlight, the Supreme Court is set to hear oral arguments today in a case involving restrictions to transgender care. The first time the justices are considering a law restricting transition-related health care for minors. We'll preview the day. And guess what? Today is National Cookie Day. And to celebrate, we are speaking to the woman in charge at award-winning bakery chain Milk Bar for the latest installment of our series, Women Mean Business. And it's got a holiday twist. And finally, mind your manners. With the holiday season now upon us, companies across the U.S. are starting to host holiday parties. We will share tips on how you can enjoy yourself while also staying professional around coworkers. Hint, be careful with an open bar.
Exactly. There's that. And even just the decision of whether to go in the first place is something that you might be weighing or considering.
Yeah.
Good to have you with us. I'm Joe Fryer.
And I'm Savannah Sellers. Thanks for kicking off your Wednesday with us. We're going to begin this morning with the new push by President-elect Trump to get his criminal conviction dismissed in the New York hush money case in the wake of the pardon of Hunter Biden.
In a court filing Tuesday, Mr. Trump and his lawyers pointed to President Biden's rationale for pardoning his son. They argued that Trump has been subject to the same kind of political prosecution as Hunter. Mr. Trump's lawyers wrote, quote, as President Biden put it, enough is enough. This case, which should have never been brought, must now be dismissed. As for the Trump transition, another cabinet pick has dropped out, this one facing pushback from conservatives. Chad Chronister, his choice to lead the Drug Enforcement Agency, withdrew his name last night, citing the gravity of the job. And his Defense Department pick, Pete Hegseth, is also in jeopardy, with a growing number of senators not comfortable supporting his nomination. Well, now a new report from the Wall Street Journal suggests that Mr. Trump is looking for a replacement. NBC News has not independently confirmed this report, but we have reached out to the Trump transition team, and we'll keep you updated as we learn more. NBC News correspondent Vaughn Hilliard joins us now from West Palm Beach, Florida. Vaughn, good to have you with us. So let's start in the courtroom with the hush money case. Mr. Trump and his lawyers trying to make a couple new arguments to get this case dismissed before he even takes office. Tell us, what's in this new filing?
Right. This all comes from a month and a half away from Donald Trump's inauguration at this point. And the filing was due yesterday by Donald Trump's attorneys, Todd Blanche and Emil Bove, who we should note Donald Trump has nominated already to be the number 2 and number 3 position holders at his incoming Department of Justice. But in this filing to Judge Merchan, they argued that the entire verdict, the entire case should be tossed out against Donald Trump, largely on the grounds of the immunity decision by the Supreme Court earlier this summer, in which they made the case that Donald Trump was immune from some of the evidence that was brought before the jury that ultimately found him guilty, and therefore it tainted the jury's decision-making process when they found him guilty on those 34 felony counts. But they also notably made reference to Joe Biden's pardoning of his own son, Hunter Biden, and the fact that Joe Biden made the case in his decision to pardon that his son was being politically targeted by the DOJ for his selective prosecution. Quote, President Biden asserted that his son was selectively and unfairly prosecuted and treated differently. Since DA Bragg took office, he has engaged in precisely the type of political theater that President Biden condemned. Those were the attorneys for Donald Trump, arguing that the former president and president-elect was unfairly targeted by the Manhattan District Attorney for falsification of business records charges that ultimately the jury found him guilty of, and they want the case tossed.
Vaughn, the DA's office has floated postponing rather than tossing the case until after the end of Trump's term. How's Trump's legal team arguing against that? And also, Vaughn, I mean, when could we see some kind of resolution?
Exactly. This upcoming Monday is the deadline for the District Attorney Alvin Bragg's prosecutors who brought these charges against Donald Trump and the case against him to file their own response to this filing yesterday from Donald Trump's attorneys, to argue, if they so desire, that the case and the decision to find him guilty should not be tossed out, and instead that sentencing should proceed. Now, Judge Merchan has already indefinitely suspended the sentencing of the president-elect, but he could make the decision as soon as next week that he intends to sentence Donald Trump even before Inauguration Day. Now, of course, he could potentially give him time served, and so he ultimately faces effectively no consequences, but those 34 felony counts still stand. And yet he could also potentially try to stave off or make the decision to move his sentencing back all the way until after Donald Trump leaves office in 2029, which Donald Trump's attorneys argue would be, in their words, ridiculous, seeing as how the investigation into him would have begun a decade earlier, back in 2018, a long span of time.
Vaughn, let's talk about the Trump transition and the turmoil around some of his cabinet picks. Chad Chronister withdrew his name from consideration last night. Now, this is not a name dominating the headlines the same way as a Pete Hegseth or a Matt Gaetz. So talk about his background and why he dropped out.
Right. This has been a busy few weeks down here in Palm Beach as Donald Trump rolled out these announcements one after the other, quite in quick order. And in the scenarios of each of these picks, didn't go through the typical FBI background checks. And there were some who questioned the vetting process of some of these individuals. Chad Chronister specifically has been a part of the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department in the greater Tampa Bay, St. Petersburg area for 28 years. He's the sheriff, and that's who Donald Trump selected to be the head of the Drug Enforcement Administration. He's also the son of the former San Francisco 49ers owner, a major donor to Donald Trump. Somebody, though, who came since his selection to be the nominee for DEA, the head of DEA 3 days ago, came under a lot of scrutiny, particularly by conservatives on the right, who referenced back in 2020 his COVID protocols and his decision to have a pastor who was flouting COVID protocols arrested. Those charges were ultimately dropped against the pastor, but there was a lot of reticence towards his selection. And just 3 days later, he took his own self out of the running, which now means that two individuals have taken themselves out of this, including Matt Gaetz. Of course, Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary nominee, is up on Capitol Hill this week here, trying to protect his own nomination under serious questions of whether he could pass the confirmation process coming up.
Pushback from the right and the left for some of these picks. All right, Vaughn, thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, let's turn now to the new allegations that are threatening the nomination of Trump's defense secretary pick, as we've been discussing, Pete Hegseth.
In an exclusive report from NBC News, 10 current and former Fox News employees spoke out about Hegseth's relationship with alcohol, telling NBC that his drinking habits worried them. NBC News senior national security correspondent Courtney Kube has more on our team's reporting.
Joe and Savannah, we spoke with 10 current and former Fox News employees who detailed a pattern of behavior by Pete Hegseth when he was host of the popular weekend morning show Fox and Friends that included showing up to the show sometimes only minutes before it was actually on the air at 6 a.m., talking about being hungover, talking about being up all night or barely sleeping at all, and at times even still smelling of alcohol from the night before. Now, these individuals could not point out a specific time where this impacted him actually showing up for the show or actually was really visible on the air. But they did talk about the stress it caused to the staff on that show. People being concerned he wouldn't show up at all, he would oversleep, or worried about him simply not being prepared for the show. At times, even having to have his makeup done on the set only moments before they went on the air. Again, this is 10 current and former Fox News employees who told us about this sort of behavior. Now, the Trump-Vance transition team denied this and called these allegations false, but they come on the heels of a pretty scathing report by The New Yorker, which detailed very similar behavior when Hegseth was at Concerned Veterans for America, a nonprofit veteran advocacy group, in the years before he went to Fox and Friends as a host in 2017. An attorney for Hegseth referred his comment to the transition team, and Fox News did not immediately respond to our request for comment. Joe, Savannah?
Courtney, thank you very much.
Later today, the Supreme Court will consider whether a Tennessee law that bans gender-affirming care for trans youth discriminates on the basis of sex.
Well, this marks the first time that the court will consider a law restricting transition-related health care for minors, and legal experts say that their decision could impact this care for both minors and adults for decades to come. NBC News Justice correspondent Justin intelligence correspondent Ken Delanian joins us with more on this. Ken, good morning.
Hey, so Ken, walk us through, first of all, what the Tennessee law says, and just what's the key legal question the court is going to be answering today.
Good morning, Joe and Savannah. Well, this law is one of more than 24 in the country that ban so-called gender-affirming care for minors, things like puberty blockers and hormone treatments for anyone under 18. And it's being challenged on the grounds that it violates the 14th Amendment Equal Protection Clause in the Constitution, that it discriminates on the basis of sex. And that is the Biden administration position in this case, as well as the position of the plaintiffs. The appeals court ruled that this law was a reasonable response to conflicting medical evidence. And so that's the question here. And if the court rules that there is discrimination on the basis of sex, then the case is subject to what's called heightened scrutiny, and there's more of a chance that this law would be upheld. If the court decides that sex is not an issue here, then it's very likely that this law will be upheld, guys.
Ken, since 2020, 26 states have passed laws restricting gender-affirming care for trans youth. How will the court's decision on this Tennessee law impact the rest of the country when we see that this patchwork is starting to appear?
Yeah, this could be the final word on this question of whether states can, in fact, ban this kind of care for minors. And it's going to ripple across the country and have an influence on a lot of things. And you know, look, it's a really interesting issue. The medical evidence is mixed. In fact, in the UK, the National Health Service has banned the prescription of puberty blockers and other kinds of care for people under 18 after a review found that the evidence for those treatments was remarkably weak. In the United States, medical experts have weighed in more on the side of providing that care. And as you say, the country is divided along red and blue lines on this. It's become a really hot social issue. And so this court's decision will really have an influence on the debate here.
And Ken, we see what's happening at the state level, but in his campaign, President-elect Trump promised to bar trans health care for minors nationwide, to prohibit Medicaid from covering the care. So could the outcome of this case in front of the Supreme Court impact whether his promises become a reality?
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. Obviously, if the court decides that this law is discriminatory under the Constitution, then that would mean that Donald Trump cannot do that. He couldn't ban Medicaid or Medicare from covering these benefits because they would be protected on gender discrimination grounds. If the court rules the other way, then Donald Trump and the Republican Congress would be free to do that, guys.
All right, Ken, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Well, this morning, jury deliberations will continue here in New York City to decide the fate of an ex-Marine charged with allegedly choking a homeless man to death on the subway last year. Daniel Penny has pleaded not guilty to charges of manslaughter and negligent homicide in the death of Jordan Neely. We are about to show you video of the moment in question that has sparked a polarizing debate. We do want to warn you, these images may be difficult to watch.
Now, defense attorneys argued Penny's actions were, quote, justified to protect strangers on the train where Neely, a man with a history of mental illness, had been shouting incoherently. But prosecutors claim Penny used too much force and exaggerated the threat when he placed Neely in a chokehold for several minutes. This case is now in the hands of the jury after closing arguments wrapped up on Tuesday afternoon.
We, of course, have NBC News legal analyst Danny Zavellos here with more on this. Danny, good morning. Good to have you here. So first, I want to just discuss the two charges here that we just mentioned, manslaughter and then also criminally negligent homicide. Walk us through the difference between them, but then also importantly, what it is that prosecutors would have had to prove to this jury that's now deliberating in order to get a conviction on either of those.
Both involve criminally negligent homicide and manslaughter. In this context, involve blameworthy conduct that creates a substantial and unjustifiable risk of death. These are words from the jury instructions that the jury's considering. The real difference is in the awareness of risk creation. So for criminally negligent homicide, we're talking about a situation where someone may not be aware that they're engaging in this risky conduct. But from the outside, we all can look in and say, even if he didn't know, what he did was wrong. Whereas The more serious crime, manslaughter, involves awareness of the risk you create, right? It might be the difference between going a few miles an hour over the speed limit and going 30 miles an hour over the speed limit. Someone who drives that fast is obviously aware of the risk that they have created. So it's really a matter of degree, and it can be winnowed down to the defendant's awareness of his risk. But there are other factors here as well, including the justification, the defense, that what I was doing was justified under the circumstances, because you have a right not only to defend yourself, but defend others. But the key in all self-defense cases is that the amount of force used must be commensurate with the amount of force that you are facing. So generally speaking, if someone wags a finger in your face, you can't respond with a machete or a shotgun.
So sometimes we can glean maybe what the jury's thinking based on the questions they asked shortly after deliberations started here. They asked questions about, clarifications on the charges and the justification defenses. Is there anything you can take away or read from those questions?
Sure. It means the jury is considering justification. Justification is basically what's called an affirmative defense. It's additional facts outside of what is charged. In other words, you're saying, yes, these things happened and I applied force and the person died. But here are some additional facts. I was fearful not only for my safety, but the safety of others. And what I think makes this case really interesting, as I suspected, you have a subway car full of people, many of whom may have seen the facts differently. So you are going to have conflicting facts. And those inure to the benefit of the defendant, because you argue that those differences in stories mean that the government has not proved their case beyond a reasonable doubt. Then you have the use of force experts. Experts are always really helpful to the defense. And if you have a battle of the experts, again, if it's 50-50, you can argue as a defense attorney that that alone is reasonable doubt. So I think the questions being asked by the jurors and the affirmative defense used here, that they're asking about that affirmative defense, might be leaning toward an acquittal. But here's the thing, Joe and Savannah. Nobody, including me, ever knows what a jury can do. And if you're trying to read into what they're doing by their jury questions, it's an exercise in astrology. You might as well be talking about Sagittarius and Aquarius and all these other things, because we really don't know. And you end up finding out that whatever your predictions were way off. So never trust an attorney during jury deliberations who's making predictions.
Not a horoscope guy?
Well, you might as well be when it comes to juries being out.
Well, is this the type of case that's ripe for an appeal, no matter what happens here?
Oh, sure. And in a jury verdict, especially a case like this, an appeal is almost it's an automatic. You're going to appeal. You're going to get at least one appeal as of right to the appellate division. And so you're going to wage your battle there. You argue all the things that you put into the record, and you hope that you have a shot on appeal. But here's the thing. If you're appealing a verdict, you always hear attorneys like me on the courthouse steps say, we vow to appeal. It's not a do-over. It's a really long road and a long shot. You really got to try and win on that verdict. You want a defense verdict. You want an acquittal at this stage, because the world of appeals is the world of mostly not being successful.
Danny Savalas, appreciate you as always.
Parts of the country bracing for another Arctic blast and even more snow.
Let's bring in NBC meteorologist Michelle Grossman tracking it all for us. Michelle, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, we could see up to 2 feet, additional feet on top of what has already fallen in places across the Great Lakes. And it's not just the Great Lakes with this system. We're looking at the upper Midwest, parts of the interior parts in the Northeast, into New England could see accumulating snow as well. This is what radar looks like right now. The lake effect snow machine still on because we have that cold air blowing over the warm waters, bringing that snow downwind of Lake Erie, Lake Ontario. Notice all that snow in the upper Midwest as well. 19 million people impacted by winter alerts this morning. We have winter storm warnings. We even have blizzard warnings along the Appalachians. We're going to see the winds kicking up big time later on today into Thursday. If you have your Christmas decorations outside, your trash cans outside, you might want to bring them in, because we're looking at winds gusting over 55 miles in some spots. That's going to bring down some trees. It's also going to create some power outages with some really chilly temperatures in place. So that's the winter alerts. And this is the story as we go throughout the next few days. We'll see light to moderate snow for the Great Lakes, also the Northeast. That's going to create really tricky travel from places like Minnesota to western New York. It's a big area that this storm system will cover. And then it's going to move quickly off the coast by tomorrow. But we're going to see that cold air rushing in behind it, Arctic air from Canada. So then we're going to see enhanced heavy bands of snow downwind of Lake Erie and also Lake Ontario once again. And the Tug Hill Plateau could see 2 feet of snow on top of what they've already seen. By Friday, the big story will be the cold winds leading to more lake effect snow. And then it's just blustery and chilly for all the rest of the Northeast. Temperatures in right around the freezing mark for many of us. It's going to feel colder than it is with the winds blowing on Friday. Snowfall amounts, as expected, we're looking at the highest amounts downwind of the lakes and where you can see the pinks and purples. It's not just the lakes. We're looking at places in Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Michigan could see accumulating snow or will see accumulating snow. And equating to those pinks and purples, so 12 inches, 18 inches, we could see over a foot of snow in many spots. Winds will be gusty. As I said, 73 million people at risk from the upper Midwest through the Ohio Valley into the interior parts of the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic, the Appalachians. And that's because we're going to see winds over 50 miles per hour in some spots, even up to 55. That will bring down trees, like I said, bring down those power outages. And we're going to see a lot of people at risk for this as we go throughout the next couple of days. Peak wind gusts as we go throughout tomorrow, this is forecasted. So anywhere from 40 to 50 up to 55. New York City, you could see a wind gust of 45 miles per hour, up to 42 in Columbus, 45 in places in the Mid-Atlantic as well. The bigger story, too, will be the winds probably by Thursday and Friday, and also that cold air that's going to be reinforced. This is like a train, the Siberian Express coming down from Canada, just ushering in that really cold air. So notice International Falls. Temperatures only in the teens today, Bismarck 25, but it's cold pretty much everywhere from the Ohio Valley to the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic, New England as well. Temperatures just above freezing as a daytime high in Boston today, 36. That's 9 degrees below what is typical for this time of year. And then tomorrow we are looking at temperatures also in the 30s, 26 in St. Louis with temperatures 19 degrees below normal. So guys, really, really cold as we go throughout the next couple of days. And of course, we're going to be adding those snow totals to what we've already seen over the past few days.
Oh, all right, more snow, just not here in New York City, where I would love some. Michelle, thank you. See you in a bit.
I know.
Coming up, it's National Cookie Day, and I'm talking to the founder and co-owner of award-winning bakery Milk Bar about what she has planned to celebrate. That's in the latest installment of our Women Mean Business series.
Up next, the continued fallout from South Korea following that decision from the country's president to send armed forces into the streets and declare martial law. How the opposition is now trying to impeach him. Stay with us. We are back with some dramatic developments out of South Korea. Opposition lawmakers have submitted a bill to impeach the country's president over his extraordinary and surprising decision to declare martial law on Tuesday.
Yeah, in shocking scenes, armed troops stormed South Korea's National Assembly building in order to enforce this and prevent lawmakers from entering parliament. This video you're watching right now, it captures soldiers clashing with parliament officials. Lawmakers later passed a motion requiring the president to lift martial law. The president then did so just hours after initially declaring it. And just this morning, the country's defense minister has offered his resignation.
NBC News international correspondent Janice Mackey-Frayer joins us now from the South Korean capital of Seoul. Janice, we know this is a developing story, but first of all, just help us understand why South Korea's president declared martial law in the first place, his argument for it, and just what we saw during that window of chaos.
Well, this was such a surprise announcement from South Korea's President Yoon Suk-yeol. It was basically a move against the government. He said that he was doing it to protect the Constitution. He cited that there were North Korean anti-state forces within the government ranks. But this highlighted the political tension and gridlock that's existed between Yoon and the opposition here since he was first elected back in 2022. He believed that invoking martial law was going to be the way to overcome that political gridlock. It was a dramatic move. It was a risky move, and it was ultimately one that backfired. Yoon has been silent today. He's not been seen or heard from publicly, but there seems to be little doubt that his political future is very much in jeopardy.
Let's talk a little bit more about that. Yeah, we understand the president facing impeachment proceedings. So what does happen next? And how does the defense minister's resignation tie into all of this?
Well, on the defense minister, he offered his resignation along with other senior aides. He said that he believed he was the one who had come up with the idea of invoking martial law. In terms of what happens next with Yoon, there has been a move by the opposition parties for his impeachment. There could be a vote that could happen as early as Friday. Some lawmakers have called for him to be arrested. Regardless, they do expect him to resign. They say that he simply cannot continue in power here. And we're seeing that reflected in protests that continue to happen here in the city. Peaceful marches, candlelight vigils, but all very much with the same message, calling on the president to step down.
Janice, it's fair to say this has created global shockwaves. That includes here in the U.S., a key ally of South Korea. We've got nearly 30,000 U.S. troops stationed there, a deterrent against North Korea. Just how concerned is the Biden administration about all this?
Well, this caught the U.S. off guard as much as anyone else. The Biden administration saying that they had been in close contact afterward with South Korean officials, talking to them at every level. What they're discussing isn't clear, and whether that includes assurances from South Korea that things are on track also remains uncertain. It's significant because South Korea is a very key U.S. ally in the region and also helps the U.S. regionally in countering China's influence. So we do see the knock-on effect of that and why there is such concern. Also, the Biden administration has spent the past several years really working to shore up regional alliances for all those reasons. And the White House is now transitioning to a president who is less enthusiastic about those types of loyalties. So this event throwing democracy in South Korea into turmoil certainly creates some anxiety around those alliances, especially with North Korea becoming increasingly hostile and ever closer to Russia.
All right. Janice, thank you so much.
Well, U.S. officials are investigating an alleged large-scale China-linked hacking operation of American phone companies. The FBI and others say hackers were able to intercept private communications of people affiliated with the U.S. government, but it could have much broader implications. NBC's Hallie Jackson has more on this.
New details on what's being called one of the worst cyber hacks in history, with federal officials revealing they've been investigating China for months after hackers compromised the networks of multiple U.S. communications companies and may still be lurking in the systems of at least some of them. FBI and federal cybersecurity officials say these Chinese government-affiliated hackers managed to steal records, intercept some voice calls, even penetrate the wiretap system used by the Justice Department to investigate people suspected of crimes or spying. Officials say most of the private communication intercepted by the hackers involved people affiliated with the government or politics, but the access to companies like Verizon and AT&T means the communications of nearly every American are vulnerable. And now a new warning to be careful what you communicate and use encrypted communication when you can. Think Signal, WhatsApp, or iMessage. Those blue text bubbles a sign what you're saying is protected.
Is a warning like that overkill, in your view?
I think it's a good standard hygiene practice for operating in today's modern technology environment. You have to be really mindful, again, about the technology you're using, how it's secured.
The culprits, officials say, a group called Salt Typhoon, the same collective allegedly behind the hacks of the Trump and Harris campaigns before the election. Officials even now still trying to understand the scale, scope, and timeline of this hack.
We have to understand that the digital connectivity that we all rely on, that we benefit from economically, can also be used against us.
For its part, China has denied past hacking accusations and last month accused the U.S. of trying to spread disinformation, despite what U.S. officials see as a clear connection.
All right, Hallie, thank you so much.
Coming up, the holiday shopping season is in full swing after a record Cyber Monday this week.
Yeah, we'll share some tips on how to protect your purchases from the growing problem of porch pirates looking to steal those gifts. You're watching Morning News Now. We are back now with our weekly medical checkup, and this week we're talking about new research on how ultra-processed foods could impact your muscles.
Plus the benefits of short bursts of exercise for your heart.
We've got NBC News medical contributor Dr. Vin Gupta here to discuss these latest health headlines. Always great to see you. Good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for joining us. So let's start on that study on ultra-processed foods. We've heard a lot of bad things about them. It's one of those things that you kind of know, I think, instinctively at this point. But it links these foods to changes in muscle quality. Tell us about this.
Yeah, Savannah, this is just presented at a major radiological conference out in Chicago. And what they found was if you eat a lot of donuts, foods that have ultra-processed sugars, carbs, you name it, bars, sort of energy bars, as an example, cereals that have a lot of sugar in them, what ends up happening is that ends up getting metabolized in your body as fat, but then that gets stored in your large muscles, like in your legs, and that poses a risk to osteoarthritis. And so this ingestion just doesn't cause abdominal fat. It actually impacts potentially other muscles. This is where this fat gets stored, and that can impact your joints. And so it's really important, especially from if you're in the kitchen, if you can't make the food from basic ingredients that you might find in your cabinet, then that should be considered ultra-processed and really focus on whole foods.
It's a good idea. Check that ingredient list, too. All right. So I feel like we keep hearing about how these short bursts of exercise are actually beneficial, which is so cool to hear. The latest study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine, a few minutes of intense exercise a day can help the heart. So what's intense and just how many minutes are we talking about here?
Yeah, Joe, intense is maybe walking up a flight of stairs, or if you can't do that, a plank, or just walking briskly on a flat surface. What this found was if you don't exercise, typically, and say you're in your 5th or 6th decade, and you don't exercise, for women, just 2 minutes of flat walking at a brisk pace, or for men, it's 3 to 4 minutes. That actually reduced your risk of a heart attack by 40 to 50%, risk of heart failure by almost 60%.
Hello.
So just any movement is better than no movement, number one. Number two, aerobic activity, increasing your heart rate, especially in this era where many of us wear wearables and you can do heart rate tracking. Getting your heart rate up, any movement better than no movement, something to keep in mind.
Literally, a walk around the block can make a difference.
That's 100%.
And everybody can find that time.
Everybody can find a few minutes.
Because I know that can be tough for people to find more time than that. Okay, this last one is kind of interesting. It talks about something that can really be spiking our stress levels, a noise that really you can't avoid. You can't avoid it if you live somewhere like New York City. Just the sound of traffic.
Yeah.
How bad is this? What did we learn here?
Yeah, it was an interesting study. It was about 70 individuals, a younger age. What they found was that when exposed to the sound of traffic at 20 miles per hour, whatever traffic sounds like at that speed, versus at 40 miles per hour. At 40 miles per hour, anxiety levels were higher when you're just listening to traffic at that speed. But that was mitigated, Savannah, if we introduced nature sounds. And so nature sounds are alleviating, they reduce anxiety. Obviously, when it comes to what you can do, try to get out of traffic spaces. Green spaces is the way to go from a mental health perspective. But we're just beginning to realize that sitting in traffic also at a higher speed limit actually does impact our mental health, can increase stress levels, cortisol levels, and that obviously can have downstream impacts.
Did someone research if someone lays on a horn for 3 minutes straight like we do in New York, what that does to your health?
Right outside your window.
Like another level.
And then sirens. I'm sure that's not helpful. Dr. Vin Gupta, thank you. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so you scored all kinds of great deals on Cyber Monday. Now comes the tough part, getting those packages before porch pirates steal them from your front door. It is a growing security concern after that record holiday shopping weekend. One estimate found on Cyber Monday alone, Americans spent more than $13 billion. That means a record number of packages are going to start arriving on doorsteps. NBC News senior business correspondent Christine Romans has tips on how you can protect those deliveries.
Porch pirates stealing your deliveries right at your front door. Last year, 120.5 million packages swiped, estimates the security firm Safewise. Professor Ben Stickle studies this growing crime.
The volume of things that we're having delivered and the value of those things has just skyrocketed, and with that comes more theft.
Often, retailers will simply replace or refund a stolen item, but they don't have to.
And at what point is the consumer responsible for that package?
So who's responsible for package theft? really changes a lot. In most states, once a package is delivered by a carrier on your property, it's considered yours.
This holiday season, a scramble to stay ahead. Amazon Prime members can have their packages delivered into their garage or a locker. UPS using AI to reroute at-risk shipments to a UPS store. And doorbell cameras, never more popular. But those cameras don't always stop thieves. And according to one survey, 25% of people who had a package stolen received no refund. Now, new types of insurance will cover stolen packages, like Porch Pals. For $120 a year, it covers up to 3 claims, $2,000 total. Its founder, James Moore.
Just order away. And then when it's delivered to your porch, don't worry about it being stolen. Don't worry about any of that. If it gets stolen, we just replace the value of that package.
And experts say to keep packages safe, track your delivery, require a signature, or pick up from the store, rather than pile up the boxes on the porch. Christine Romans, NBC News, New York.
Coming up, the founder and co-founder of the award-winning bakery Milk Bar is putting a twist on a holiday favorite.
Yeah, up next, I'm going to sit down with Christina Tosi to talk about that and look back on her incredible career for our series, Women Mean Business. Stay with us. We are back with our series, Women Mean Business. And today, actually, it's National Cookie Day, and we've got the perfect guest, the founder and co-owner of award-winning bakery Milk Bar, Christina Tosi. Christina grew up in Ohio, baking with her family as a way to celebrate community and creativity. And she got her first baking gig the summer after her freshman year of college, where she was actually a math major. We'll ask her about that. Needless to say, after that summer, she ditched the numbers and donned her apron. Christina got her start in the New York City fine dining scene at a restaurant downtown called Booley before she met David Chang. And then she joined the Momofuku family back in 2005. It's a restaurant chain you might have heard of here in New York. Well, 3 years later, with no business plan, she launched the first Milk Bar on the Lower East Side, mostly baking out of basements. You might recognize its neon pink logo. Fans have come to know and love it. She designed that herself on Microsoft Word. She's a chef, an entrepreneur, apparently a graphic designer. Christina Tosi is a woman who means business, and she joins us now live here in studio. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. I'm so happy to be here.
Okay, I'm so happy to meet you. I'm so happy to have you here. I was telling Christina, I'm a huge Milk Bar fan. You have this fabulous birthday cake that you do in all different types of forms, but everybody gets a Milk Bar birthday cake from me because I love it so much.
Oh my gosh, you're so sweet. It's like the from scratch version of the Funfetti box cake mix of my childhood, at the very least. And it is synonymous with joy and celebration. And it's always an honor to be a part of people's celebrations.
I bet. How neat to know that people are having that in those moments.
Yes.
You're closing in on 17 years?
I know. Can you believe it? This is our sweet 16 year, closing in on 17 years, and National Cookie Day.
I know. We're so excited. We're going to talk about a new cookie you've got coming up in just a minute for a little holiday twist. But let's talk about the beginning. I mentioned baking in basements.
Yes.
And for people who don't know, David Chang is a huge deal in the culinary scene, and certainly here in New York City. Going to him kind of with this idea, I know this started as basically a dessert at Momofuku, but how did you go from kind of like, you know what, I want to do some of this dessert stuff here to your whole own brand?
I loved what Dave was doing. I was working as a pastry cook. I moved to New York City to go to culinary school. I knew I wanted to bake for a living. It was the one thing I knew I could do every single day with vigor and passion and never tire of it.
I love that.
And the translation of that, professionalizing that, was becoming a pastry chef. So I set myself out on this course in New York City to work in fine dining. That's where you became the best possible pastry chef. That's how you did it. And I found when I got to the top of fine dining, fancy white tablecloth, gorgeous elaborate desserts, I missed the spirit of a plate of cookies or a brownie in a little Ziploc bag, like the power that inherently wields coming as a home baker. That's how I was raised by the matriarchs in my family. And I loved what Dave was doing. He was democratizing savory food. It was insanely delicious, super creative. It still is food, but at affordable prices where anyone and everyone can come and sit shoulder to shoulder at a Momofuku restaurant. And I was drawn to that. There was no dessert program, but that was the spirit that I was looking for through the lens of dessert. So once I started working with Dave and helping him build the Momofuku empire, I'd go, baker's gonna bake. So I'd go home at night and bake and bring those baked goods in the next day the way that you would for coworkers. I was just working in food. And eventually Dave was like, I am so
That's so
sick
neat.
of you helping with operations and all the other parts of the business. This is what you're meant to be doing.
How cool, by the way, to have someone champion what you love
true.
in that way.
We all need a champion.
You've said creativity a couple times. For people who are not familiar, haven't been to Milk Bar, tell us a little bit about that, because that is part of what makes this, like, you don't just go for a regular chocolate chip cookie. What you've done there, tell us about some of your favorite flavors and creations over the years.
Oh my gosh, cereal milk.
Yeah.
So we don't have vanilla ice cream. We have something called cereal milk ice cream. It tastes like what's left in your bowl.
Cereal milk soft serve, and that nails it. That's exactly what it tastes like.
Sweet and salty cornflake crunchies around the side. We have something called a compost cookie. It has pretzels, potato chips, a little bit of ground coffee, butterscotch chips, chocolate chips, graham crackers. It's the cookie you make when you don't have enough chocolate chips to make a chocolate chip cookie. We have something called Milk Bar pie that's kind of like a gooey butter cake meets a pie that doesn't have enough pecans to be a pecan pie or an apple to be an apple pie. Everything that we do is rooted in something that's classic and American in its form, cookie, cake, pie, ice cream. But we love to turn nostalgia on its head and challenge what it can be. And I love the classics. But we don't make an apple pie. We make an apple pie layer cake. I love the idea of seeing these moments with fresh new eyes. Dessert that reminds us where we came from and who we are, but also that our future is full of infinite possibility. It's making people happy with dessert and really taking that moment to mark a moment and challenge the spirit of what if.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you see how special this is? I love it. We only have like a minute and I have 2 questions left for you. So very quickly, I do want to hear about your Christmas cookie.
So it's National Cookie Day.
Yes.
We have joined forces with McCormick at select bakery locations. I'll be at the Nomad Milk Bar at 10 a.m. handing out these amazing candy cane pretzel bark cookies in celebration of Cookie Day. There's 100 at every select location while supplies last, and then you can come in and be a customer and buy one.
And this is just like Christmas in a cookie.
But it's Christmas in a cookie. It's leveraging the 2 greatest extracts, I believe, of the baking world. And it is also kicking off just the celebration. It's holiday baking season. We're on a quest to find the greatest cookie that you can bake up. So bake, send a video, tag us. We want to be inspired and see you, because I think cookies, the simplicity of a baked good, it makes a really big difference.
True.
It's small things in life that stack up joyfully.
Last question for you. For Women in Business, we only have about 20 seconds, but we love to just ask, what advice do you have for a woman who might be at home right now thinking, I want to do what this woman has done, and I don't even know where to start?
The secret is just start. Like, it's just start. It's day after day. Start doing something. Don't be precious about it. Throw something out into the world. These things stack up. You're going to learn. Things are going to work. Things aren't going to work. You have good days. You're going to have bad days. But these small things, they stack up. One day at a time, one day at a time. Be passionate about it. Be furious about it. Be humble about it. It will stack up, and you will get somewhere. It's a long and winding road. It's never straight and narrow, but just start and stack it up.
I love your joy for it. It means so much. Christina, thank you so much. Congrats on the new cookie and the new book, by the way, Bake Club. Great to see you.
Thank you.
All right, love it. Cookies for breakfast now, too. All right, some financial headlines now. A new survey finds over half of workers got a bump in their paychecks this year. CNBC's Silvana Henao joins us with that and other money news. Silvana, good morning.
Hey, Joe, good morning to you. Yeah, I love a cookie for breakfast, too. All right. Well, more than 60% of workers have received a pay increase in the past year. A new Bankrate survey shows that was through finding a better paying job, getting a raise at their current position, or both. However, a majority of those employed say their income just hasn't kept pace with increases in household expenses, and only a third say their pay has kept up with inflation. Roughly 2/3 of adults are worried about falling victim to scams this holiday season. A new survey from CNET finds more than 80% are taking some steps to protect their data, but about 70% have taken actions that are seen as dangerous by security experts, such as using the same passwords across multiple accounts and not signing up for 2-factor authentication. And Amazon's Black Friday NFL game between the Kansas City Chiefs and Las Vegas Raiders drew an audience of 13.5 million viewers. That's up more than 40% from Amazon's first Black Friday game last year. And well, to attract more viewers this year, Amazon offered free access to the game to anyone with an account. Thursday Night Football games require a Prime subscription, Joe.
All right, Silvana, thank you so much.
The holidays are here, and for many of us, that means it's time for your company's holiday party.
Yeah, well, parties can be a great way, right, to socialize. There are some rules you can follow to make sure that you have fun while avoiding any embarrassment. Staying professional.
For more, we're joined now by Laura Gassner-Otting. She is the executive coach and author of the book Wonder Hell: Why Success Doesn't Feel Like It Should and What to Do About It. Hopefully your holiday party is not a wonder hell. Good to have you with us, Laura. I mean, a recent survey found nearly 2/3 of people are opting out of attending their company's annual holiday party. So let's start with that. Why could that be? Should you be checking yes on that RSVP?
You absolutely should check yes on the RSVP, especially when we're living in a world of hybrid work. So there's not a lot of time to get that face time with the people who are making decisions about what promotions are going to be handed out, what projects you're going to get assigned to. Are you going to be in line to be seen by the people who make those big decisions? And if you're not getting that on a daily basis at work, showing up at that holiday party is an important time to actually be seen and to show that you're a team player and that you care about the larger culture of the organization.
Honestly, we had a company holiday party last night that Joe and I were both at, and I totally felt that that was real. You connect with people that you don't otherwise get to see, and it's a great opportunity. It reminds you to follow up with some people. What can we do to make sure that the night does go well once we are there?
Well, do a little homework ahead of time. So think about what you're going to say to people. Read the newspaper. Look at some of the headlines that are, that are relevant to your business, to your line of work. Have something interesting to say to people. Be positive. Be engaging. And if you're talking about real things, that doesn't leave a lot of time for the gossiping, right? So that's the first thing. Remember to maintain those boundaries. Don't do a lot of drinking early on. If you're a young person and you want to get some of the free alcohol and get some of the free food, cool, do it. But maybe wait until later in the night after some of the old fogies like me have gone home, right? So spend a little time in the beginning having that conversation with people who really matter. The glass of sparkling water with a lime in it looks a lot like a vodka tonic. So you don't have to necessarily get a drink in order to look sociable.
Right. Think of the glass as like part of your outfit. It's like an extension of you, but you don't necessarily have to drink if it's filled with alcohol all the way.
And also, if it's not a big glass of red wine and you're awkward like I am, and maybe you trip and maybe you splash and maybe you spill, you're not going to ruin your boss's dress.
There you go.
That would be a very nice bonus.
They're liquids. Good advice. All right, so
maybe speaking from experience on that one.
Yeah, okay. Well, hopefully there's not a picture of that. So let's talk about social media and pictures. Is it okay to post pictures from a holiday party? What are the rules?
Well, it's fine to post pictures from a holiday party, but maybe not posting some of those compromising photos. And by the way, when we're thinking about photos, that also means think about what you're wearing. So, you want to dress appropriately, maybe a little bit more conservatively than you might if you're going out with friends. For ladies, think about showing the shoulders or the legs, but maybe not both, right? You have to sort of, only one thing can be the party. You got to pick what you're going to wear. And remember that there are people who are there who don't normally see you on a daily basis. So if you're going to be sort of going outside the chain of command to be seen by people at the party, you also have to remember that they may see what you're posting on social media later as well. So don't post anything that you wouldn't want to be considered in that end of year review, which is happening just right after that holiday party usually.
What's a good way, do you have tips for following up after maybe you have had this kind of good social moment with your boss that's not your typical setting, and how you kind of take advantage of that?
Yes. So the thing that I always tell people when they go to a holiday party is don't be a conversation hog. Your boss is also there because they have to make time to spend a little time with everybody who's there. This is their opportunity also to build those relationships. We did a survey at our company. We talked to 10,000 people from 74 different countries, every possible demographic, every possible industry. And people said, if I work for a quote unquote good boss, but I don't have a relationship with that boss, I'm just as likely to leave as if I work for a bad boss. So your boss is trying to make sure that they're building those relationships. So get in, get out. I have a friend who likes to say, be brilliant, be brief, be gone, right? So have a conversation, make it quick, and then next week say, hey, it was great starting that conversation with you at the holiday party. I'd love to have coffee, would love to come by your office and maybe get a little deeper about what we discussed. Absolutely. All you're looking for in the holiday party is just the invitation to follow up.
Good way to look at it. All right, Laura Gassner-Otting, thanks so much for your time this morning.
You were brilliant and brief. It was perfect.
And now I'll be gone.
But we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
We'll follow up. Coming up, a London pharmacy offering a different kind of medicine.
And when we come back, we'll explain how workers there are using poetry to soothe the soul this time of year. Details up next. We're going to end this hour at a pharmacy in London that has just what the doctor ordered, but with a bit of poetic license.
And for many, the stanzas in stock are the perfect remedy. NBC News international correspondent Kelly Kobiella takes us there.
Hidden in the heart of busy London, a pharmacy dispensing a different kind of medicine. A balm for broken hearts, Christmas spirit and joy.
So in each of the pill capsules that you can see, there are extracts from poems.
That's right, poems.
By turns, a stone is grown in you, and then a star. Oh, it just gave me joy. I know.
Deb Alma calls herself a poetry pharmacist.
We'll lie in it and be it. That's why so freely we call it our own.
Using words to soothe the soul.
I was working with people with dementia, actually, using poetry to assist communication, and saw how poetry could change someone's mood.
In her first shop, an old ambulance, she decided to take poetry to people who didn't normally read it.
People just need some help to find the poem that they will respond to.
Now, at her poetry pharmacy in London, hand-rolling little strips of wonder by the thousands.
All I want is a room up there, and you in it.
Her place of healing, a social media sensation.
The blissful clouds of summer. What kind of a mood does it put you in to come here?
Quite cathartic. It's like a warm hug, innit?
And there's a little something to satisfy our darker sides, too.
The more you suffer, the better I feel. Oh, gosh.
From imagination to hope and healing.
What I heard was my whole self saying and singing what it knew. I can.
Happiness in a bottle. Kelly Kobiella, NBC News, London.
You don't even need a prescription. All right, that's going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now.
But the news continues right now. Good morning. Thanks for starting your Wednesday with us. I'm Savannah Sellers.
I'm Joe Fryer. Right now on Morning News Now. Winter wallop, a blast of Arctic air gripping the Northeast with another round of snow set to pound an already snowed in Great Lakes region. The extreme weather causing havoc on the roads, snarling traffic, leaving some stranded. Meteorologist Michelle Grossman is tracking it all, including some potentially record low temperatures moving in. Also this morning, transition trouble. President-elect Trump's pick for defense secretary facing new allegations about concerning alcohol use amid growing doubts that he will be confirmed. How the Trump transition team is responding and the new reports of a potential replacement. Plus, chaos overseas, the future of South Korea's president hanging in the balance. The backlash after he declared martial law for the first time in more than 40 years and mobilized the military. That announcement sparking immediate pushback. Protesters scuffling with police outside the National Assembly building. The new push for impeachment and what the conflict could mean for the future of one of America's most important allies. And it's the end of the year. That means it's time for the Spotify Wrapped list. So what have we all been listening to in 2024? We're going to look back on the chart toppers, the show stoppers, the occasional guilty pleasure that made this year stand out.
Does that mean we're sharing ours? I didn't know about this.
Well, I don't do Spotify, so it won't be me. But I can tell you what I think I listened to this year.
Yeah, well, I know what I listen to. But I like to buy you-know-whose albums on it, so it
exactly.
don't, you know,
So you never know. All right. We're going to start this morning with that unrelenting snowstorm. It's pushing through the Northeast and through the Great Lakes. In Ohio, people are digging out for more than 4 feet of snow. Now, forecasters say even more is on the way.
Yeah, all that's worrying drivers as the ice and snow-covered roads, they're causing accidents from Pennsylvania all the way down to North Carolina. Now, forecasters are expecting record low temperatures in parts of the country today. And all this winter weather is setting the stage for the annual Rockefeller Center Christmas tree lighting ceremony. That is just hours away, and it is just right outside our studio, which is also where our friend NBC News correspondent Sam Brock is this morning. Hi, Sam. Good morning.
Savannah, Joe, good morning. I think you should come down here and join me. It's a balmy 26 degrees right now, expected to reach the high 30s later today. So while we say, warm and very merry tree lighting ceremony, it comes with a bit of a chilly caveat, guys. Over my shoulder right now is a 74-foot Norway spruce that I know Joe got an up-close and personal look at weeks ago. Came from Massachusetts, the first time since 1959 that the Christmas tree has come from that state to Rockefeller. And it comes, guys, at the same time as well as the governor of New York warning people in the state about up to a foot of snow near the Great Lakes. And those already perilous road conditions could get worse.
This morning, dangerous snow and ice still piling up in parts of the country from a relentless wintry blast that's already led to several deaths. Among the fatalities, 3 people in Iowa killed when a driver crossed into oncoming traffic trying to get around a snowplow. In Pennsylvania, roofs collapsing under the weight of several feet of snow, including this car wash in Erie, which was luckily empty at the time. Some communities still trying to figure out how to handle 5 feet of snow after days of accumulation. In other sections of the Keystone State, schools forced to evacuate out of an abundance of caution. The warning signs as plentiful as the snow.
Multiple semis involved.
On Interstate I-90 in Erie, a multi-vehicle accident snarling traffic. And a wild scene on the tracks nearby, where a cargo train was unable to brake before smashing into this semi-truck. The driver thankfully able to jump to safety before impact. Another driver's windshield taking a direct hit from a snowplow.
As I was going under the underpass, all of the snow that he was plowing just came crashing down on top of my windshield. Didn't even realize what happened until I saw that I was covered in glass.
Those tirelessly driving the snowplows working around the clock as the winter deluge leaves some stranded.
We had young children, we had young adults that were traveling alone. We had elderly people that had life-saving medication that were stuck in vehicles.
Towns doing their best to get them all to safety.
I think we're just at that point where a lot of people are getting tired and frustrated, but we're here to help.
So, guys, the concern now is a clipper system coming straight from Canada that's expected to hit us here in the Northeast, the Midwest, the Great Lakes as well. As for the tree lighting ceremony, the broadcast begins at 8 o'clock tonight, and right around 10 o'clock, about 50,000 LED lights are going to be illuminating the plaza. This area right here is open to the public. Let's get excited. Joe and Savannah, back to you.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Brought my warmest boots, my long underwear. I'm going to stand out there for 4 hours.
Oh, you're doing it? I didn't even know that.
100%.
Oh,
Going to stand out of that rink. It's one of the best times of the year.
Sam, thanks so much.
All right, let's take a closer look at the winter blast.
Yeah, that's right. We've got Michelle Grossman back with us this hour with your Morning News Now weather. Hey, Michelle, good morning.
Hey there, guys. Good morning. And yeah, we're going to add additional feet of snow to some spots that, as Sam highlighted, we are looking at a lot of snow in many, many spots. A lot of people have snow fatigue, and it's a serious situation because we have this clipper system moving through. It's not just the Great Lakes today. It's the upper Midwest. It's parts of the Northeast into New England, the Appalachians as well. And it's going to usher in Arctic air. So we are looking at temperatures very, very cold. It will be very windy, and we could have some power outages with this system. 19 million people under winter alerts from the northern plains to the upper Midwest into the interior parts of the Northeast and also New England. Snowfall amounts, much like we've seen, we're going to see the most accumulating snow downwind of Lake Erie, Lake Ontario. The Tug Hill Plateau area could see an additional 2 feet of snow. But notice you see a lot more pinks and purples than you have in the past couple of days because we're going to see accumulating snow throughout the state of Michigan into Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine as well. And the Appalachians, they're under a blizzard warning because we're going to see the winds gusting in addition to that accumulating snow and the snow that will be falling. So that clipper system will bring the snow. It's going to bring the wind. It's going to bring the cold. It's going to bring light to moderate snow from the Great Lakes to the Northeast. That will create additional tricky travel. So we also saw those scenes across the roadways in the Great Lakes. Well, we're going to see more scenes like that because it will be tricky over the next couple of days. The system does quickly exit tomorrow. That's good news, but we're going to have that cold air rushing in. So that's going to reinforce some really heavy snow bands from the Great Lakes, downwind of Lake Erie, and also Lake Ontario. That will continue on Friday. And then it's just blustery and chilly for the Northeast and also parts of the Mid-Atlantic. Wind alerts, this will be a big story over the next couple of days. 73 million people at risk. We could have power outages because winds are expected to gust over 55 miles per hour. Here's that cold air in place today. only into the teens in International Falls, 25 in Bismarck. But notice it's cold from New England into the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic. That will be the same story tomorrow. Cold air still in place, temperatures below freezing in so many spots. This is the air temperatures. This time of year where we start talking about wind chill, we're going to factor in those blustery winds, and it's going to feel colder than it is. So just 39 in D.C. tomorrow, and it will feel much colder than that. Guys?
Oh,
all right.
Lovely. Thanks, Michelle.
I know.
Now let's get to the latest in the Trump transition. New allegations are threatening the nomination of his pick for defense secretary. That's Pete Hegseth. It comes after former colleagues accused Hegseth of excessive drinking in interviews with NBC News. Well, a new report suggests the president-elect could now be looking for a replacement. NBC News Chief White House correspondent Peter Alexander has the details for us. Peter, good morning.
Hey, Savannah, good morning. So support for President-elect Trump's embattled Pentagon pick Pete Hegseth may be wearing thin. This does follow a series of allegations that are raising questions about Hegseth's character. The latest focused on, as you referred to it, whether Hegseth drank excessively, with 10 current and former Fox News colleagues sharing their concerns with NBC News. The Trump transition team, notably, is still publicly standing behind Hegseth, even as discussions emerge that the president-elect and his team are considering possible alternatives. This morning, as Pentagon pick Pete Hegseth's nomination struggles, President-elect Trump is mulling other options. Two sources familiar with the decision-making tell NBC News Trump is considering Florida governor and former GOP rival Ron DeSantis as a possible replacement, as well as Iowa Senator Joni Ernst, among others. Both DeSantis and the Trump transition team did not respond to our request for comment. But Hegseth's nomination appears to be in trouble. Multiple Republican sources tell NBC News that as many as 6 Senate Republicans are currently not comfortable supporting Hegseth's bid to lead the Pentagon. He can only afford to lose 3. A key Trump ally expressing hesitation.
Articles I've read, some of them are concerning. I don't know if it's true or not, but he'll go through the process.
Yesterday, new allegations of excessive drinking also emerging about the decorated combat veteran. NBC News spoke with 10 current and former Fox News employees who worked with Hegseth on one of the network's morning shows and say the former co-host drank in ways that concerned them. 2 saying on more than a dozen occasions they smelled alcohol on Hegseth before he went on air. Everyone would be talking about it behind the scenes, one of the former Fox employees said. Another former employee saying he should not be Secretary of Defense, adding his drinking should be disqualifying. A Trump transition spokesperson called the allegations disgusting, completely unfounded, and false. Fox News did not respond to requests for comment. Hegseth has denied an allegation of sexual assault from 2017. He was never charged with a crime. On Capitol Hill, Hegseth was also pressed about his recent comments that women should not serve in combat.
Do you think they should be in combat?
I think they're already in combat.
Some Republicans urging colleagues to reserve judgment.
I would just urge my Republican colleagues who are very worried that before they make up their minds, let him have his hearing.
And Trump's team is expressing confidence in his pick.
There aren't any concerns, and we feel very good about his positioning for being confirmed by the Senate.
So it's not the only setback the Trump team is dealing with right now. President-elect Trump's choice to head the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration, also backing out. Chad Chronister is his name. He pulled his name just days after Trump announced that he would nominate the Florida County Sheriff. He's from Hillsborough County. That's the Tampa area. Chronister ran into opposition from Trump's base for his strict enforcement of COVID lockdowns. But notably, Savannah and Joe, with the recent withdrawal of Attorney General pick Matt Gaetz and now Hegseth's hurdles, the Trump transition team is hoping to avoid more distractions. They just finalized an agreement with the Justice Department to allow Trump's team to submit names for FBI background checks. Savannah.
Peter, before I let you go, I do have a question. Also, overnight, there were some reports that Kash Patel, that's Trump's pick to lead the FBI, was targeted by Iranian hackers. What more can you tell us?
Yeah, that report coming from CNN, they're reporting that Patel was recently informed by the FBI that he was targeted in an Iranian cyber hack. CNN citing 2 sources familiar with the matter. The hackers are believed to have accessed at least some of Patel's communications, according to one of the sources. NBC News has not confirmed those reports, and Savannah, the Trump transition team, has not acknowledged that any hack took place.
All right, Peter, thank you very much.
To international news now, South Korea's president is facing impeachment proceedings following that shocking move to declare, then cancel martial law. During the extraordinary 6-hour period the decree was in place, troops stormed the National Assembly and clashed with parliament officials. The country's defense minister has since offered his resignation. NBC's Janice Mackey-Frayer has the latest from Seoul.
The protests have continued through the day. This is the National Assembly building where people have been gathering on the steps, the same place where this extraordinary chain of events has tossed democracy in South Korea into turmoil.
This morning, a political crisis is deepening in South Korea, a critical U.S. ally. It comes after a chaotic night that saw the military mobilized around the National Assembly, its version of Congress. All of it triggered by South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol's extraordinary move to declare martial law, an attempt to replace the country's democratic government with military rule. Yoon says he did it to stop what he called North Korean anti-state forces within the government. The ill-fated move fueling a tense standoff, with protesters scuffling with police as helicopters flew overhead. One opposition lawmaker live streaming how he climbed a fence to get back inside the legislative building for an emergency vote that forced Yoon to revoke the order within hours. Today, there are widespread calls for the president to resign or face impeachment. All of it appearing to catch the U.S. off guard, with some 30,000 American troops stationed here. The White House and Pentagon saying they're relieved Yoon backed down.
Right now, there has been essentially no impact on U.S. forces.
The scene's unnerving for South Koreans old enough to remember when dictators ran the country, and the last time martial law was imposed in 1980. Now, with North Korea more hostile and closer to Russia than ever, the leadership of one of America's staunchest allies appears on the verge of collapse.
The question now is what's next? Some opposition members are even threatening to have Yoon arrested. And while instability on the Korean Peninsula is nothing new, this is a unique and uncertain phase that's unfolding.
All right, Janice, thank you.
Let's turn now to New Jersey, where concerns are growing over some unwanted eyes in the sky. Residents in Morris County say they've been hearing sounds of drones hovering over their homes for weeks.
Now the FBI is joining local authorities trying to solve the mystery behind who's flying them and why. NBC News correspondent Stephanie Goss joins us with more on this. Stephanie, good morning.
Guys, good morning. You know, some residents say they started noticing these drones in mid-November, sometimes lingering over people's homes in the middle of the night. Concerning enough, as you say, that the FBI is now getting involved.
That's not a plane.
Mysterious drones have been popping up in the night sky over New Jersey.
This is a video of the Morris County drones with characteristic triangle lights.
Residents sharing eerie videos like these on social media. Mike Walsh says he's been seeing them since mid-November.
They kind of sound like a helicopter, depending on how big they are is how loud they are. There's red and green lights on either side of them.
He reported them to local police, but has not received any explanation. Other residents say the drones seem to fly in coordinated groups, appearing every night except Thanksgiving, and disappearing as soon as the sun comes up.
Just looked out the window at 6 o'clock, and there were 7 or 8 hovering right near my home. It's a complete violation of privacy and unnerving. I couldn't sleep last night.
Authorities saying there's no known threat to public safety, but residents have stayed on alert.
This is bizarre. There's more over there. Look. Holy cow. Look, guys. Yeah. There's one there, one there, one there. Oh.
The drone sightings are near the Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, a frequent overnight stop for President-elect Trump. Drones have been banned over Trump's golf course, and now the FBI is investigating. Residents are frustrated at the lack of information from authorities.
We want to know what's happening, and we want it to stop.
The FBI is asking witnesses to report any information related to these recent drone sightings. They haven't told anyone what it is yet.
So the FBI, why are they getting involved in this?
So FAA is in charge of airspace. If there are laws broken in airspace, then the FBI gets involved because it's federal jurisdiction at that point.
Wow. Yep. All right, Stephanie, bizarre one again. Thank you very much.
Sure. Yep.
All right, we have a lot more to get to this morning, including a sit-down conversation with actor Brittany Snow and author Jasper Guest to hear all about their project, putting the conversation around mental health front and center.
First, though, search efforts are underway for a grandmother who may have fallen into a sinkhole. We have the latest up next.
We're back now with the efforts to find and rescue a grandmother who went missing in Pennsylvania.
Authorities say she may have fallen into a 30-foot sinkhole while looking for her cat. NBC News correspondent Emily Aketa joins us with the latest on this. Emily, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Really a race against time. Authorities believe that woman was out with her granddaughter to search for her lost cat when she herself went missing, and the 5-year-old was alone in the woman's car for some 10 hours in the cold. Now, rescue teams are racing against the clock in what they call an all-hands-on-deck mission.
A desperate search overnight in southwestern Pennsylvania. Emergency crews trying to track down a missing grandmother who they say may have fallen into a 30-foot sinkhole while looking for her cat. Police say the family of 64-year-old Elizabeth Pollard contacted Pennsylvania State Police around 1 a.m. Tuesday to report her missing.
They believe a second individual may be in a sinkhole.
A few hours later, troopers found Pollard's car parked near a restaurant, and less than 20 feet away, a surprise sinkhole that had developed about the size of a manhole.
It was most likely created during the time while, unfortunately, Mrs. Pollard was walking around. There was no evidence of any time where that hole would have been here prior to her deciding to walk around looking for her cat.
Inside the vehicle, authorities found Pollard's 5-year-old granddaughter unharmed, despite frigid weather with temperatures in the 20s. The child has since been reunited with her parents. Crews now searching with audio devices and thermal cameras, so far finding a shoe, a possible clue that Pollard fell into the hole.
We're hoping that there's a void that she could still be in.
This morning, family, friends, and rescue personnel holding out hope for Pollard's safe return.
We need a little bit of luck on our side.
And officials say sinkholes are not uncommon in that part of Pennsylvania, Marguerite, because of coal mining activity. An added challenge in the search efforts, with crews having to be extra careful not to further disturb the unstable ground. It's quite a challenge that they're facing with this one.
Let's hold out hope that they can find her.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Emily.
Thanks. Let's turn now to what's making international headlines. Let's start with the latest from the Middle East.
NBC News international correspondent Claudio Lavanga joins us from Rome with that and some other world news. Claudio, good morning.
Hey, Joseph, and good morning. Well, that's right. Now, the Israeli defense minister threatened to target the Lebanese state in case its ceasefire with Hezbollah falls apart. Now, he made those comments during a visit to Israeli troops at the border with Lebanon, where he said that until now, Israel has fought Hezbollah, but not the state of Lebanon, but warned that if war returns, this will no longer be the case. The threat comes as both Israel and Hezbollah have accused each other of breaking the ceasefire, which is now hanging by a thread. Let's now go to Vietnam, where on Tuesday a court upheld a death sentence for a real estate tycoon in a high-profile $12 billion fraud case. Truong My Lan was sentenced to death in April this year after she was found guilty of embezzlement and bribery. She appealed the conviction, but yesterday a court in Ho Chi Minh ruled that there was no basis to reduce her death sentence. Still, local media reported that if she will return 3/4 of the money embezzled while on death row, it's possible the sentence could be commuted to life imprisonment. And let's end this tour of the world in Britain, where an appeal by a chef for the return of 2,500 stolen pies ended in disappointment. The pies were meant to be delivered to a Christmas market in the city of York, but the van they were traveling in was stolen. Tommy Banks, who owns 2 Michelin-starred restaurants in the area, implored the thieves not to let the food go to waste, also because the cargo, worth more than $30,000, was probably more expensive than the van itself. In the end, the police found the van, but it was too late. Now the pies that were meant to be for the holidays turned into a holy mess, guys.
Oh,
wow.
That's too bad. Also, it says something. The pies were worth more than the van. Keep the van. We just want the food.
Wow.
So.
Scrooges. All right, Claudio, thank you very much.
Depends on the van.
Coming up, it started out as a form of self-help therapy, and now it's become a mental health movement.
After the break, we're going to sit down with the 2 women behind the September Letters to discuss their mission to take the stigma off mental health.
We are back with an important topic we cover a lot on this show, destigmatizing mental health. And our next two guests have been championing conversations around mental health for years. Back in 2020, they launched a letter-writing initiative called September Letters. It was meant to serve as an honest therapeutic community for people to connect and share their personal stories with other people who might be going through a similar experience and need a little help. It's something we've shared with you right here on the show. And I am excited to have the co-founders of September Letters here in studio this morning, actress Brittany Snow, entrepreneur Jasper Guest, two friends of mine. And I'm so lucky to have you live with us. Hi, ladies. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here. I want to start by reading a little bit of a letter for people who have not picked up this book, who have not been on the website. Just a little taste. You essentially go on and you can click through any type of thing that might be resonating with you that you need a little help. Here's one that I read this morning. To anybody reading this, if you ever feel like you're merely getting through the day, stop surviving and start fighting. I believe in you. It makes me emotional even to read it because it's just very, very neat to be able to have a resource to reach out. Brittany, tell me how the idea for this came about and what it meant to you to start seeing these letters come in.
Sure. I mean, getting emotional makes me emotional. But yes, it was really born out of this idea that I had read a letter, an article in a magazine, and I saw my story for the first time. And it was the first time that I knew someone else had what I had. And then years later, I did an article for a magazine, and I shared about how that article changed my life. And someone at a coffee shop came up to me, and they had read my article and said how that had changed their life. And I always wanted to do something with the idea that your story and sharing your story can really connect us, make us feel not so alone. And just by merely sharing it, it really gives us the hope that maybe we need because we're all more connected than divided. And so it's been really beautiful and beneficial even to us to read these letters and realize that so many people have that spark of hope and really do want to connect with others. It just restores your faith in humanity.
It so does. I mean, even just like I've been on the website, I have the book, I've read the book, I turn to the book as like a resource a lot. And even this morning, just going through the letters again, you're like, gosh, it does. It just gives you this sort of, this warm feeling of togetherness that is so important if you are in a tough time. Jasper, tell us more about the community, like just a story that you love from it, a letter that you read that really touched you, and what it's been like to watch it grow.
I mean, I don't think we had any expectations, which was the really cool part. And then to see people just kind of band together and you reading the story and you getting emotional is exactly how we feel like on a daily basis going on the site. And that's really why we have Request a Letter, which is our personal favorite. And it's people reaching out and saying, hey, I don't see a letter about this, but can you help it? And I too was reading it this morning. And it was about heartbreak or loss or grief. And it's just, there's not a lot of places that you can go and say, hey, I need help on this, and can someone help me? And then people do. And that's what's so remarkable about our community, and it's just we're so proud of them, and they kind of give us guideposts on how we can grow and give more support to them.
Absolutely. Brittany, you just mentioned this, how you took the step of sharing publicly as somebody who is a public person about your mental health journey. I wonder if it was an easy decision. I was about to say I can imagine it wasn't, but knowing your heart for this, maybe it felt like the right thing to do. But take us back to that time, choosing to share something that you didn't have to share, that was definitely vulnerable, and why you made that decision.
I mean, I think back when I first shared my original story was when I was like 21 years old, and I actually didn't understand what I was doing, except that I just felt compelled to share it because I wanted to give back in some way. But now more than ever, I realize that the more support that I've gotten through tough times, the more I need to give it away as well, because it just feels so much better to know that I can help the next person. It seems sort of Pollyanna, but I do really believe in that. And I think that's why our website is really amazing, is that there's so many people that just go on it to share their own story of something that they had just been through. Because when you're going through a tough time, sometimes the thing that helps the most is to just get out of yourself, get out of your head, and just help someone else.
Totally. The other thing that I love about it is that I think a lot of times when we talk about mental health or finding help for yourself or helping others, like it feels like a really tough barrier for entry. Like how do I do that? Or what type of wait list is there for therapy? What is it going to cost me? What do I say to someone who's struggling? And there's something really simple about the concept here of just what it is like to use an experience that you have had that was maybe negative and share it with somebody else for a positive. Do you think that's part of kind of like helping with the mental health crisis that we see, is having resources like this that are easier to grasp onto?
I mean, absolutely. Where do you start? Right. You know, I mean, it's saying, hey, I need help, and in a sea of people who need help, and no one knows where to begin. And so it's just so nice. With our book, we like to say, just open it to any page, and that's the letter of the day that you need. And very much so, the website is the same idea. You know, it's just like starting and reaching out and talking. And even on the letters like that you just read, people write these beautiful comments, like really stunning comments of, you got this. And kindness ultimately goes a very, very long way and helps people begin their mental health journey. And that is, you know, free.
Absolutely. What's next for September Letters and for you guys in this, like, what I see as like this crusade to help others that has been so neat to get to be a part of and to learn about and to get to know both of you in this? What do you want to happen next?
Well, we're really proud of the new website. Dumpster Dive, our friends, redid the website recently, and so it's really easy to use, and you can go on there and read a letter, write a letter, request a letter. But really, we're looking to expand September Letters to help more people, maybe do another book if it doesn't kill us, and just really get the word out there that, you know, the destigmatizing this sort of idea that mental health shouldn't be spoken about or it's so taboo, and I think that it's really important that we all share our stories and normalize the conversations.
Absolutely. Jasper and I have talked about that a lot. Like, you're authors. It's amazing.
Barely.
Stop. Jasper and Brittany, thank you both so much for being here. Thank you for the work that you're doing. Congratulations
for
on
the
the
work
new
you're
website. Stop. Check out the new website. It really is fantastic and an amazing resource for anybody who needs it. Thank you both. Wonderful to see you. Well, coming up, bookstores are back. After the break, we'll take a look at the booming business of books and what's behind the retail resurgence. Stay with us.
So have you ever wondered about those cheap products you see on discount retailers and how well they compare to name brands?
Yes, is the answer. I have absolutely wondered, and some of us at NBC, including some familiar faces, tested out some of the most popular items from the shopping app Temu. That's the online mega store that I'm sure you've seen. It's all over social media. Of course, this is from NBC's senior consumer investigative correspondent and News Now anchor, Vicky Nguyen. And of course, she wrote me into this, which you'll see shortly.
Sure did.
Vicky, hi.
Hi, good morning. Yes, you might be Temu, curious, tomato. So here's the thing. Temu had all these huge Super Bowl ads, right, saying you can shop like a billionaire. It is one of the most popular shopping apps on the market because of the variety of items that you can get at rock bottom prices. So we went to the juicer, we went to the espresso machine, we tried the shoes, the hair tools. We tried all of these things to help you decide whether to buy them. Temu, taking America by storm with millions of products for a fraction of retail prices. Experts predict 1 in 5 purchases this holiday season will be made on Chinese shopping apps like Temu. Tempted by $29 running shoes or a $14 smartwatch? My NBC News colleagues and I tried 6 different products. The total brand name retail price for all these items, more than $1,000. The price we paid for Temu versions, $180.
This is the Oura Ring, and this is the Smart Ring.
Makeup artist Madison Bermudez wakes up at 4:30 every morning, so she spent $300 on the Oura Ring to track her sleep, exercise, and health. She compared it with the $16 version from Temu, which included basic step and sleep tracking.
It is consistent with the Oura Ring data. It's not telling you as much as the Oura Ring is telling you, but it gets some of those basic numbers done.
We didn't get the same reaction from associate producer Caroline Joyce, who tried Temu's $14 smartwatch.
The product was very glitchy. There were tons of ads, and my step count was over 5,000 off.
These $29 running shoes look a lot like Saucony's $275 Endorphin Elite shoes. Correspondent Brian Chung laced up and took them for a 5K run.
And the sole is so stiff, and you really want a lot more cushion in a running shoe. If you're doing longer distances or maybe even training for a race, I would not recommend these.
I gave the Juicer a spin. At $34, it's comparable to a $60 one. Well, that was loud. The motor was powerful, and it delivered a delicious beet juice. No complaints for me. Next, a $29 hair tool, similar to the $570 Dyson Airwrap. We tried it out on NBC News Now anchor Savannah Sellers.
It's a lot louder. It also gets a lot hotter, too.
Hairstylist Gina DiPentima noticed while they both have similar attachments, the quality is different.
With the round brushes, they're about the same size, but the actual Dyson, the bristles are a little bit softer.
She compared them on multiple hair types. She did one side of Savannah's hair with each tool. The Temu curls didn't last as long, but Gina says for the price, it performed well.
It's been about half an hour, and my director just said one side is looking 70s and one side is looking 80s.
Finally, our biggest investment, the espresso machine at $63. Producer Chloe Leung says it took her several attempts to get the machine to work.
It's definitely a little watered down and a little bit more sour.
But she said it sputtered and became alarmingly hot.
The machine is still really hot. Coffee is everywhere.
Mark Spoonhour is the editor-in-chief of Tom's Guide. They report on durability and safety tests for electronic products.
What's your advice to people when they're buying specifically electronics on a site like Temu?
If it isn't a name brand, be wary. Shopping on Temu is a lot like a scratch-off lottery ticket. There's a lot of excitement when you first buy it. It's very cheap, and sometimes you're a winner, and sometimes you're not.
He recommends buying home decor and fashion over tech or gadgets, and he says avoid products that must stay plugged in.
You never know what could happen.
Temu told us its smartwatch step counts and sleep tracking were within the margin of error, that the espresso machine got hot because of a preheating function, and that it has suspended the running shoes from sale.
So overall, here's the thing. Our team says 3 out of the 6 products initially performed as promised. Temu told us that it does have a buyer protection program, which ensures easy returns if your expectations are not met. And that policy might come in handy because guess what? Madison's smart ring, after 2 weeks, it just stopped recording her sleep at all. So that's the other issue with these headphones, for example. They say they're noise canceling. You put them on, they don't actually cancel the noise. Right. And they're actually rather small. So, you know, when you're buying from any website, right?
Yeah.
You can't try it on. So these are things to keep in mind. They do this way, but not this way. Yeah. And they're very small around the ear, our producer said. So,
they don't look at, I mean, because I'm assuming that's like a.
Actually, I think they're making
Apple.
the noise louder.
Can you hear me now?
They're not canceling it.
Listen, we've also talked to people who love the products they get when it comes to clothing or hair ties or even tools.
Yeah.
One of the crew members over on the Today Show told us he buys tools, not power tools, just hand tools, and they've been great for him.
Wow.
So it's a little bit of a buyer beware.
Yeah, I think it's certain things make sense and certain things don't.
Or just buy several of something.
No, Joe, we don't want to add to the landfills. No more waste.
No, exactly.
All right.
I love it. The Dyson dupe was pretty good.
Interesting. Yeah, well, let's see how long it lasts.
Thanks, Vicky.
Let's get a look at this morning's financial headlines. Get your streaming accounts in order. Max is the latest service to start cracking down on password sharing.
CNBC's Savannah Hanau joins us with more details on that. Savannah, good morning.
Hey, Savannah. Hey, Joe. Good morning. That's right. Max is the latest streaming service to crack down on password sharing. Warner Brothers Discovery, which owns Max, says it will start sending what it calls gentle messaging to users next week and will offer a way to add a member to your account in the first quarter of next year. The company says it doesn't want to oversell the scale of the crackdown, saying it won't be on the level of Netflix, but it could help drive user and revenue growth. Now boarding first class on Frontier Airlines. The low-cost carrier will install 2 rows of first-class seats starting late next year. Frontier already offers premium seats, which includes extra legroom and preferred seating, which allows customers to choose a seat near the front of the plane. It will also start offering free upgrades to its rewards members and free unlimited companion travel for Platinum and Diamond Elite members. And score 5 touchdowns, and all the fans get free tomato soup. The Washington Commanders are hiring Mark Klaus as their new president to oversee the team's business operations. Klaus has spent the past 5 years as CEO of the Campbell's Company, which changed its name from Campbell's Soup last month. Campbell's is based in Camden, New Jersey. The same plans the NBA's Philadelphia 76ers have their practice facility. Now, the Sixers are owned by Josh Harris, who bought the Commanders 2 years ago, guys.
All right, Savannah, thank you so much.
Okay. Well, a new docuseries is looking at the massive economic impact of Taylor Swift's Eras Tour and how it affected everything from music to philanthropy. NBC News correspondent Kaylee Hartung reports on the Swift effect.
Taylor Swift's impact and influence is unmatched. Since she kicked off her ambitious Eras Tour in Arizona in March of 2023.
This is actually the first night of the Eras Tour. Did you know?
She's changed the game for everything from music to sports to fashion and beyond. Her economic impact felt across industries and around the world.
No other artist in the history of music has been able to have this kind of effect on the world.
She's stimulated economies in places where she's performed, generating billions of dollars. In the process, making her the richest female musician in the world and turning everything she touches to gold, or rather, green.
It could actually move the needle on the economic activity of either a city or even a whole country.
The NFL has been one of those many beneficiaries. The league seeing a bump among female viewers since Swift began cheering on her boyfriend, Kansas City Chiefs' Travis Kelce.
How much of it was a Taylor Swift effect?
Listen, we'll accept anything that brings more attention to the game.
It's a phenomenon I've seen firsthand as a sideline reporter for Amazon.
For decades, the NFL has been trying to grow its popularity among women. Think about all of those little girls who might be sitting by the TV next to their dad watching the game just because they want a glimpse of Taylor Swift.
For Kyle Brandt, the host of NFL Network's Good Morning Football, the Swift effect is personal.
I'm watching the Chiefs play, and I look, and it's my 8-year-old daughter, and she's kind of looking around the corner at the TV. Did they show her? Did they show her? I'm like, yes, they showed her. Look, I paused it for her, and she's sitting there just looking at the TV, riveted. And then she sat down on the couch with me and watched the rest of the game. That was the change happening right in front of me.
With a captive and connected fan base, Swift's messages of female empowerment are translating to purchasing power.
It empowers women to feel like they can sort of buy and do anything.
Some small businesses say they owe their success entirely to Swift.
She single-handedly catapulted my career.
An endorsement from Swift, even accidental, makes for marketing money can't buy. Something the woman behind the glitter freckles Swift sometimes sports experienced for herself.
To have somebody like Taylor Swift validate our business and say, glitter freckles are cool. All the girls are wearing glitter freckles now. It's really overwhelming as an entrepreneur of what I've sacrificed was finally worth it.
Thanks to her business savvy, strategy, and deep fan connection, her own success spreading to those around her, making the whole place shimmer.
Our thanks to Kaylee for that report. Now, though it's tough to put an exact number on how much money Swift has generated, here are a couple pretty staggering statistics. By the end of this year, the Eras Tour is expected to have brought in more than $2 billion, blowing other tours out of the water. And another estimate finds that the tour has had a GDP impact as high as $9 billion.
The holiday shopping season in full swing, a well-known industry is making a bit of a comeback. Even in the age of online ordering, brick-and-mortar bookstores are booming. In fact, Barnes & Noble has opened nearly 60 stores this year alone. NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa joined us from inside one of those branches in Chicago. Maggie, good morning.
Hey, Joe, good morning. So the secret behind Barnes & Noble's kind of makeover is simple. They say the chain store vibes are gone, indie vibes are in, often in unique spaces like this historic bank building in Chicago. We're panning up because that ceiling is famous on social media, by the way. And it's not just the chains. Indie bookstores are thriving, too, setting the stage for a holiday bookstore battle.
This holiday shopping season, let's go to the brand new Barnes & Noble. Book lovers are buzzing about a surge in brick and mortar.
Treat yourself to a new book or two or 5.
With reading retail giant Barnes & Noble opening close to 60 stores nationwide this year, the most in a single year since 2007. One in Chicago, housed in this historic bank building. Beloved by Book Talk and local shoppers.
There's something special about looking at book covers.
Yeah, I saw a kid's book that I had when I was a child, so it just kind of warmed my heart.
I love bookstores. I love them.
Is Barnes & Noble making a comeback?
It's made a comeback.
After years of declining sales, Barnes & Noble CEO James Daunt is working to turn the page with smaller stores, each with its own aesthetic.
We gave back our stores to our store teams to organize themselves, display books, whatever they like.
I read you're aiming for indie bookstore vibes in Barnes & Noble now. Is that true?
That's certainly true.
Speaking of, independent bookstores are booming too, with nearly 300 opening nationwide in 2023, according to the American Booksellers Association, setting the stage for a literary face-off straight out of the rom-com classic, You've Got Mail.
Can we save the shop around the corner? Yeah!
When you first heard a Barnes & Noble was moving in down the street, what was your first reaction?
Oh gosh, I lost sleep.
Owners at nearby Volumes Book Cafe are stressed about the competition, but in a world of e-readers and online giant Amazon, thrilled to see brick and mortar thriving.
I think every small town or any town in America deserves, every neighborhood, to have a bookstore that reflects them.
That's a lovely thought, to think of every neighborhood, every town having a bookstore.
Yeah, wouldn't it be great? I would visit them all.
We think it'd be great, too. For what it's worth, by the way, bookstores big and small make the bulk of their money during the holiday season. So if you like this being a reality, maybe think about buying those books, those gifts in person. For its part, Barnes & Noble says this is working. Sales are soaring. So much so, Joe, they plan to open, get this, 60 more stores nationwide next year. So we'll see how this goes.
That is good to see. I never abandoned the bookstore, so I'm glad to see that more and more people are going to them. Exactly, independent or beyond. Maggie, thank you so much.
Yeah, I love a bookstore. Coming up, the end of the year is almost here, and that means it's time for everyone's Spotify Wrapped list.
So what did 2024 look like in music? We're going to dive into the data next. We're back with a look at one of New York's most dazzling holiday traditions. The Radio City Rockettes are a city staple, and for many of the talented dancers, the Christmas Spectacular is a lifelong goal now achieved.
The word unison could easily be defined by images of the Radio City Rockettes, especially Courtney and Caitlin Sullivan, who are really in sync.
We get every day, are you two twins? And we're like, yes.
Now in their second season, they remember watching the Rockettes as kids.
As an identical twin, we do everything at the same time. We walk the same, we talk the same. So like to see a line of ladies dancing as one, we were like, wow, that feels like it could be us.
It felt like the perfect job for you?
Yes, I felt like we were born to do this.
Carmen Moore also had that dream. She would watch the Rockettes every Thanksgiving, captivated by the entire group, but galvanized by one particular dancer, Danelle Morgan.
That was my inspiration, seeing another black woman who was 100% authentically herself.
You're not just following in her footsteps, you're sharing the stage with her.
Absolutely.
What does that feel like?
Crazy. I watched this woman for so many years, and then to be able to share the beauty of holding this legacy together is amazing.
When Megan Glazer was young, she didn't just watch the Rockettes, she performed with them as young Clara in the Nutcracker scene. During that time, she turned 12.
The cast got me a birthday cake, and I made it my birthday wish to become a Rockette.
A wish come true. Megan is now in her 15th season.
And like even sitting here, just like looking out into the theater, it's amazing.
What is it about it, do you think?
It's one of a kind. Radio City Music Hall, being a Rockette, it's just one of a kind. It's legendary.
So to all the Claras out there, you say?
Never give up, dream big.
And carrying on that legacy in unison.
The Rockettes are going to have multiple shows every day up until January 5th.
I gotta go.
Check it out if you're
I gotta go. Love it. Thanks, Joe. Well, finally this hour, it's that time of year, Spotify listeners. That's right. We've got your first look at this year's Spotify Wrapped trends.
For the second year in a row, no surprise, Taylor Swift is the most streamed artist globally, clocking more than 26 billion streams.
I was 1 billion of them.
Exactly. Also the year of country music, with more fans listening to the genre than ever before.
For more on this year's listening trends, we are joined by the global head of editorial of music at Spotify, Selena Ong. Selena, always great to have you with us. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Congrats on Wrapped being out. I know, happy Wrapped Day. It's so exciting. Okay, so let's start with the most streamed artists in the U.S. this year. Joe just mentioned some of it, but tell us what the whole list is, and are there any surprises?
The Queen, Taylor Swift, takes
Thank you for referring to her as such.
Well, we have to use a proper title. Exactly. Both global and U.S. list, Taylor tops the list.
Wow, okay. And who else is in the list?
So in the list, we have on top artists Drake for the U.S., Zach Bryan, Morgan Wallen, Ye, Future, Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, The Weeknd, and Metro Boomin for the U.S.
So an eclectic mix there.
Definitely. So, yes, a mix of genres and
Here's what's interesting. Taylor Swift, obviously the top artist, but when you look at the top song, she doesn't even have one in the top 5. Is that right? Is that surprising? And what were the top songs of the year?
So the top song of the year was Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter.
Not surprised. Good one.
Beautiful Things by Benson Boone came in at number 2. And one of the other songs that people really love this year is Billie Eilish, Birds of a Feather. And when we're looking at top artists and songs, the top artists you really see have a huge catalogue. So Taylor Swift with her Eras tour and just the breadth of her catalogue.
Right.
You see her take the top spot. And that's the pattern that we see when it comes to artists overall. The catalogue is super important.
Interesting. Yeah. What did you see globally?
Globally, so one of the most exciting trends that my team and I saw is the top albums globally. The 8 of the 10 that you see here are women artists.
Woo!
In all of my time at Spotify, this is the first time I have seen this. So women really dominated this year.
3 of them
and
Taylor
delivered.
Swift.
Yes, yes.
And the Grammys reflect that this year, too, which is great to see. Women just dominating all the categories. So
They
it's
do.
not just folks are listening, but just the highest quality of music right
Exactly. And the other trend that we saw is emerging artists like Benson Boone and Teddy Swims and Sabrina are also nominated for Grammys, but also appearing on the top tracks, the top global songs list, too.
So this was a political year, so a lot of folks were listening to podcasts for politics or maybe to escape politics. What were we seeing when it came to the top podcasts this year?
So the genres of true crime, comedy, and sports still really, really popular, and they dominate the podcast space. And the Joe Rogan Experience and Call Her Daddy came in at the number 1 and number 2 spots.
Which is interesting because we saw the candidates appear on each of those 2 podcasts. So that shows their power.
Yes. Okay, we know that everybody loves Wrapped and sharing theirs on Instagram and all that kind of stuff, but I know that you even have some new features this year.
We do. We always aim to make Wrapped different each year. And this year, you'll be shown your music evolution. So throughout the year, your tastes and your moods change, and we're going to show you what that looked like this year.
So does that mean you get, like, happier, you get sad? What is sort of the, like...
You'll have to tell me.
This will be different for everyone.
This is broken, Taylor only, always. I love it. Selena Ong, thank you very much for joining us. Congrats on Wrapped being out. I know it's a big project for y'all. It's great to have you every year.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
That's going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now.
Don't go anywhere, though. The news continues right now.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.